Get caught unawares all you like.
Look, everyone else here? Nothing you buy from them will matter if you get killed. So armor up. Tell me what you need. Booming now. Used to be a few other armor shops on the station. As it happened, their owners mysteriously vanished. I picked up their inventories real cheap, since they were just taking up station storage. It sure was a convenient windfall for yours truly. Real convenient. Exactly. I wish some other sorts around here who like to cast aspersions were as understanding as you. Can do.
If you lost it, I'm selling it.
Doctor here. Get your stitches.
Garments here. Come gander. I might not know what all my wares are, but I'm sure we can find something you like. If you're in need of sprucing up the old wardrobe, I can provide. Used to be part of Auntie's Choice. Nothing special, just a pilot for light cargo vessels. Had a lot of time to think, with just the void for company. Eventually decided I was sick of being overworked and underpaid, and made off with my cargo. Turned out to be generic clothes, work gear, and such. More of a market for it out here than I would have guessed. I've bolstered my wares since. You should give them a look. I got rags, fineries, and everything in between. You need coveralls, we got coveralls.
Shop here to acquire preparing sniveling servitude protocol complete. Greetings, most valued and attractive customer. What may this unit rehydrate for you? Negative. This unit and stall are registered to Gerald T. Wenrich. Mr. Wenrich last visited 222 days ago. When last seen, Mr. Wenrich mentioned he was, quote, going to teach those redacted sub rosa redacted a lesson. Nobody extorts Gerald T. Wenrich. Error. Road sales grandstanding not found.
Anybody even listening to this? Let me sell you stuff.
Protect your loved ones, protect yourself. Buy some new armor today.
I'm beginning to reach the tail end of my patience. You will tell me the location of the broker.
Lad, you ain't got much of a concept of a deal, do you? You ain't got nothing to offer, and a threat is offering less than nothing.
Do you realize any other arbiter would have crushed you where you stand for obstruction of justice long before now? That I am flowing with magnanimity?
Can't say I know what that word means, but if you're inclined to keep threatening me, only thing gonna be flowing is your blood out your body. Maybe if you would actually purchase something, I'd help you find your quarry. Well, might. Actually, might's a strong.
The Sovereign's arbiters do not negotiate. Tell me where the broker is.
I got actual customers to see to. Let me know how not negotiating goes for you.
Don't you understand that this, all of this, is wrong? You wouldn't need to peddle to live if you still adhere to the Sovereign's rule.
Live at all if the Protectorate was in power here, actually. Heard about your hanging your own people. Shameful, really. Before you get defensive, don't bother.
Another challenger approaches. Prepare to be sent weeping from my curio collection. None have defeated my collections, and none shall. But I do so delight in a competition. Are you prepared to do battle? Cards, my dear, of the tossball and pitchball variety. I must see if your collection bests my own. Sporting! Let us do battle! A not unimpressive display, closing in on my own. With perhaps a handful more, you just might defeat me. But today, you do not. I cannot open my wares to any unless their collections rival my own. I hope you understand. Feel free to return once you have bolstered your ranks. But know that you shall still not defeat me.
Come now, Prospero, you've been on that stage hundreds of times. This perturbation looks bad on you, and you're not one for looking bad. Terribly sorry you've got me ruminating. A man of my persuasion shouldn't stoop to such self-deprecation, especially in front of prospective customers. You've identified me properly. But information transference is the lifeblood of Free Market Station. And if you want a transfusion, you'll have to grant me a spot of help. I'm in charge of keeping the patrons of the saloon entertained. Normally this does not present an issue, but I learned that an old flame of mine shall attend my next performance. My resolve is uncharacteristically flagging. I find myself fixating on the most minute of issues. I need something to bolster my confidence. She knows my real name. Prospero's just a stage title, as it happens. There's a certain kind of intimacy that I fear shall be difficult to ignore. Liquid courage has never failed me, but I have a discerning palate. The automech chef in the bazaar sells my preferred brand of alcohol, though it can be headstrong. You see, I can't just drink any old swill from the bar. My refined palate can only stomach one drink. Iceberg-aged whiskey. Something of a collector's item, I'm told. Now, if you'll excuse me, an artist must be granted solitude to properly amass his mental forces.
Protect your loved ones, protect yourself. Buy some new armor today.
Meals currently sold with. Welcome to our stall. We hope this is the first meal you ever have in your life. What may this unit rehydrate for you? Yes, iceberg-aged whiskey is currently on reserve for Prospero Palo. Current customer is not Prospero Palo. Unit cannot vend to current customer. Scanning error. Cannot ascertain identity of current customer. Purging all vending restrictions. Eliminating one restriction. Vending iceberg-aged whiskey complete. Thank you for your patronage. All wares were at some point cooked fresh. Meals currently sold with both salt and pepper. Available today only.
My gear has the fewest holes out of any clothes on station. For your money back.
As it happens, standing in one place and focusing on not being nervous does not, in fact, help one not be nervous. My friend. Excellent. Thank you. Very well. You wish to know about the crash, yes? Are you prepared for a sordid tale of drama and woe? Everyone knows that the free market's captain was a hopeless romantic, especially disposed to giving too much of her heart to those inclined to break it. The final betrayal came from a dashing rogue smuggler who vanished with most of her bits. The good captain had about all she could endure. Indeed she did. The crew attempted to wrest the controls from her to save them from their fate, but alas, too late. That's all I know. I thank you for your help once again, and now I must get ready for my set.
You just bought a shooter from not a weapons store, right? How's it treating you?
It ain't. Can't eat the scraps I shoot with it. Since they keep disintegrating.
Tired of firearms that explode in your face? Not a weapon store.
Sorry about our friend here. No matter how slow I talk, the words "Free Market Station is independent and does not bow to the Protectorate" don't seem to be registering with him. What can I get you? Aside from irritating me, I've been making it my business not to know. We at Free Market Station don't get involved with partisans, especially obnoxious ones. He may stay so long as he doesn't cause real strife, but that's it. You want to know more? Ask him, not me. If you were running a less than legal group, would you want everyone knowing your agents' identities? I don't think so. Lots of folks in Sub Rosa have friends and family elsewhere. Auntie's Choice and the Protectorate predominantly, but some order. If their identities somehow got out, those friends and family are suddenly going to look like much juicier targets. It's safer for everyone this way. Always. For example, there's some kind of hoity-toity collector type parked upstairs. Supposedly, she's willing to sell some of her collection if you impress her. Laws. Stranger, seen my fix? Hope you're about to offer to rid me of this damn fool.
You cannot dissuade an arbiter from their sovereign-given duty, no matter how much of an irritant you may attempt to be. I came to meet with the information broker for, Protectorate business, Protectorate reasons. However, I find myself foiled at near every turn. None within the Protectorate would defy an arbiter and expect to live. Regrettably, I cannot make the locals see reason without rendering myself unable to learn what I seek.
Even polite entreaties don't see most getting an invite to the broker. And you've been anything but. See, you may have thought you said have an audience, but what you actually said was let him assassinate.
Do I look like a sentinel to you? No, don't answer that. My point is that if I wanted to kill everyone here, we would not be having this obnoxious conversation.
No matter what this fella says, he's not going to convince me to trust him. He's a walking security risk.
An arbiter need prove themselves to no one but the sovereign. But if I must debase myself to further my aim, so be it.
Interesting thought. Occurs to me there might just be something that needs looking into. Within the Golden Ridge locale on Dorado, there's a refugee camp. It's unassuming, quiet-like. Most of the folks there just want to be left alone. They see to the few needs they have by working with the broker. But we ain't heard from them in a fortnight and change. Serves to reason something untoward may have transpired there. You see your way to looking into that, maybe we'll talk. That's between them and Sub Rosa. You in or you out? I don't fancy the idea of letting an arbiter loose on our allies without supervision. Might not know you, but anything's better than giving him complete freedom.
I do not take your speaking of me as some kind of pharaoh canid lightly.
Then I guess neither of you will be seeing the broker, unless you change your mind.
Buy from me? Please? Hello once more. I guarantee you some of my inventions will be working soon. In the meantime, I've plenty of miscellanea for sale. I'd be happy to show you. Hello once more. I guarantee you some of my inventions will be working soon. In the meantime, I've plenty of miscellanea for sale. Oh, I prefer to focus on the present and the future, and not things that may or may not keep me awake in the dark and lonesome hours of the night. Is this how one gets ahead in business? I suppose I ain't got a choice. Before it crashed, I served on the free market as a secondary engineer, first grade. Had a colleague who was very talented, but not very good at hiding it. The supervisor saw her as a threat and demoted her to the engine room. She wasn't the type to take a blow without dodging. In Auntie's choice, there's politics among waste technicians. My colleague sabotaged the engines when her partner was on his mandated 2-minute break. When the free market attempted to breach orbit, well, just about everyone died. I made it to an escape pod on the port side. The ship landed on its starboard. I got lucky. Yeah, me too. Anyway, can we get back to subjects that aren't this? I got goods to sell.
My contraptions don't explode no more. Honest. I just don't get why we have to buy our own weapons. Weapons from our own merchants. We got people who can filter us better here. Maybe I'm joystick. But anybody we've got out there is got bigger problems.
Consult with Earth Directorate HQ before committing resources to search and rescue.
lines will not. Good subjects arrive 15 minutes early to avoid missing their tram. Attention passenger. You are running 21,027. Thank you for picking up your personal belongings. We must all work together to keep Golden Ridge beautiful.
Wow. This station's sure gone to scrap since last I stepped about. Don't think we'll be hitching a ride anywhere quick.
Your patience is commendable, passenger. Please continue waiting quietly until the next tram arrives. Stay vigilant. Report any suspicious activity to your nearest station warden.
Multiple signs of habitation observed. Helpful tip. Agents are advised against touching stains of questionable origin.
206. Morale? Low. Condition? Feeble. Voucher mech. Watching. Always watching. Many have left for Matriarch's mercy, seeking refuge with the Order. The fools. Can't they see the Order is no different from the Protectorate? The Order won't...
Incessant muttering to oneself may disturb fellow passengers. Further conduct violations may warrant notification of the Sentinels.
Try it, you doddering rattletrap! Such threats compel me no longer. I now answer to no one. I've seen through the lies of both sides.
Lest you're bent on exploring,
Meantime,
best we hoof it over to
Unwarranted
Matriarch's mercy and meet with that
optimism
ad
may
at the
be a
SAR
sign
mission.
of a more serious imbalance. Please see a curativist before boarding.
Travelers are instructed to closely monitor their surroundings at all times whilst peregrinating outside inhabited areas. Those choosing to heed set forth warnings are predicted to have a 14.7% higher chance of survival.
Please, somebody help us! Anybody, please! Finally, some help. We desperately need aid. Desperately. My family and I, we was making our way to the Mercy camp for us refugees. We were set upon. My wife, my son were injured. Can't move them by myself. I had to leave them just past this tunnel so as I could go for help. But being alone is even more riskier. The Varachnids, I chased them off, but they'll be back. Please help us. Ain't nothing I can do for them, but you got weapon and medicines and can get us to the camp. Please. I don't... Vary, by my guess, she was bit on the thigh, high, like, can see bone. Or maybe white means infected? She's screaming all the time when she's awake. Then she goes to sleep. She in agony. And my son ain't waked since the attack. Hurry, please. We must hurry, or they'll be eaten. Or worse. Thank you. Thank you. This way. This way.
Guns cocked and loaded. Just get the signal. I'm the one you need to worry.
Consulting health benefits available at your request.
Got my lamp on and I'm free.
ready to waste them. On your command.
Entering a confrontational state.
Another refugee? All right, step forward. Just a moment. Allowing anyone into Matriarch's Mercy unprocessed will upset the precarious ratio of refugees to aid. We should have an opportunity for placement in approximately 7.85 days, presuming no unforeseen alterations. I seem to recollect one matching your description set for arrival. Pardon my slowing your ingress. It has been rather hectic of late. Welcome to Matriarch's Mercy. Rule number 1, no crowding. Rule number 2, avoid the exclusion zone. Our seer has predicted non-specific imminent danger. I thought the name was self-explanatory. Our seer predicted that a corner of the encampment is in terrible danger. Danger from what? Or when? Unclear. Stay away from it, and, in all probability, you won't have to find out. Our predictions spring from the universal equation, the very numbers that guide the stars. Only a fool ignores probability, and we don't suffer fools around these parts. Safety and probability are incompatible. Eventually, nowhere will be safe, including here. Not at present. But according to our predictions, the creation of a third rule is likely, if not inevitable. That's enough questions. Keep the line moving. You need anything, talk to Seer Wiley. He's in the lift building, straight through the settlement.
I remember this place before the war. Functioning tramiculars. Peaceful silence of the canyons.
I can't recall the last time this region was silent. Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
I wish.
Thus, if we compare the rates of dust accumulation and then we solve for apologies. Just catching up on a research assignment between queries. Yes? Did you need something? Oh, doesn't everyone have that memorized? It's 1.77245385. Ah, I see you were making a jest and/or attempt at conversation. Anything else? Typically, no. And it has been somewhat challenging focusing my concentration. The abbot felt a scientician operating in a conspicuous spot in the thoroughfare might be useful. An illustrative way for our guests to see how we operate, to show how the crabble patties are made, as it were. That is, if the meat preparation involved a 90-step rate formula and a conflux of polynomial equations. I am also on hand to answer queries by providing data supporting our actions. Though perhaps due to my central location, 89.74% of the time, I am simply asked for directions. They must be exceptionally pleased with the statistical jump correlated to residents within Matriarch's Mercy. Numbers here are pretty compelling. According to data, life inside shows a notable uptick in key relevant quality of life factors. Longevity, access to medicine, potable water. Life outside sees increased risk of starvation, inclement weather, and hostile xenofauna. Yes, indeed. Numbers are really against you out there. We have diverted internal resources to better meet demand in key areas. And I'm pleased to say that's led to a statistically significant 2.7% increase in refugee satisfaction. But if my data remains unconvincing, I suggest you inquire with Provisioner Plotnik inside the lift building. Simply tell her Archivist Widmark approves brief use of her time. Then back to it I shall get.
My soup is nutritionally calculated to sustain
Please
all
be
bodily
advised,
functions.
this unit lacks
but it could
pharmaceutic
use a
resources
little
to
help.
provide medical care meeting Earth Directorate standards to
Every
populations exceeding
scientician yearns to visit
7.5
the
person.
Ark. Apologies, outsider. As a vicar, I am usually tasked with guiding non-order lay people, such as yourself. Lately, the abbot has tasked me with the education of the refugees in our care. You are, of course, free to stay to be enlightened by my lecture, but I don't need an abacus to predict your path lies elsewhere. Frivolous jocularity is one of a vicar's key methods for establishing rapport with lay people. If we gab a bit, I might restock my arsenal for witty rejoinders and quips. Yes, I reckon I do have my ear to the grimy dirt floor of Matriarch's Mercy. I hear what common lay people are saying, and the wide array of bodily noises they make. Suppose I, more than any other member of the Order here, connect with non-scienticians. I've begun daily lectures, including practical advice on efficiently planning their days. I frequently launch into extended orations on everyone's favorite topic, math, and meticulously expatiate on our sex origins in the most rigorously pedantic detail. Oh, dear. I got ahead of myself, didn't I? That's an occupational hazard around here. As I'm sure you've read in recent dissertations doing the rounds, education has proven to have a 13.7% increase in overall quality of life. I am single-handedly making a difference here, with constructive pointers on efficient scheduling, lessons on order history, plus some mathematics for a little added razzle-dazzle. Never as many as I would like, perhaps, but my little congregation grows by the hour. Eventually, my unsophisticated layperson friend, the knowledge just seeps right in. Give it a few years and they'll even be asking questions.
Broke my nose last scrap.
This location is an outfit with individuals classified as unscrupulous. Maybe.
By the law. It's you.
Oh, thank the architect you're finally here. I've scarcely breathed while hoping you'd come. I am in desperate need of your help. True, but the Order's predictions know you better than you know yourself. Recently, I had a rare opportunity to ask the Seer for guidance. He told me that a dashing outsider would answer my prayers. I feared the prediction was a fluke, but here you are. A dashing outsider standing before me. Strictly speaking, it isn't. Not yet. But the math is very, very, very good at predicting what is probably most likely extremely possible. In theory. Within a margin of error. Anyway, that is the Seer's business. My business is the health and welfare of this camp. Where to begin? There are so many sick and wounded in Matriarch's Mercy, and I have but 2 imperfect hands. I am but a humble general practitioner. What I really need are specialists, and the Seer predicted an outsider would find them. As a doctor, I'm appalled. We don't have enough beds or private quarters to separate people, so sickness is blazing an unhappy trail through the refugees. Of course, the Order keeps us well supplied with meds, but things will get worse as long as we're overcrowded. Yes, I can treat sickness as it arises. It would be leagues better to prevent it entirely. That means space to spread out. Since you asked, you can run this medicine to Horst Lambing. Just don't shake the man's hand. He has a habit of coughing into his palm when he covers it at all. My thanks, stranger. Probability is on our side. The Seer gave me a datapad with explicit instructions that I not read it, for my intervention could only throw probability into disarray. Now, take the datapad, with my thanks. How can I be of service? Since you aren't a refugee, I hope you understand that I cannot offer my goods free of charge, but my prices are fair.
right. The universe does not orient itself toward fairness.
Ah, you must be the, Earth Directorate Agent I was told to expect. Your punctuality is commendable. Allow me to welcome you to Golden Reach. I'm afraid I've no refreshments available, but can I interest you in a customary debate over decidability? Sensible. Straight to business, then. The presiding bishop sent word of your imminent arrival. However, pursuant to our normal standards of compartmentalization, she was scant on the details of your mission. That said, I've been instructed to assist you however I can. So, tell me, what brings you to Golden Reach? Victor? Oh, yes, Archivist Clemens. Quite the mind. Such encyclopedic knowledge of engineering. One could almost mistake him for an exemplar. Is he in some kind of trouble?
Victor Clemens, some kind of radical. What an absurd notion.
I must agree with my seer. I once watched Victor shed copious tears over a damaged datapad. It's difficult to imagine him capable of worse. And that may well be true. But our standard of proof within the Order is not normally met by hearsay alone. Victor's currently supervising highly experimental research at one of our labs to the northwest, the N-Ray range, beyond the invaders' front lines. Unfortunately, you'll need to go through the decommissioned autonomous extractorium to reach it. That path is less than safe, so I advise caution. Besides the highly caustic Serenium River and the Mantisaurs, we've also received reports of mad cultists in the area. It does make me wonder why Victor decided to stay. Rift worshippers spouting inane theories. They began showing up prior to the invasion. The first sign of dysfunction in the Protectorate always starts small, doesn't it? Loath as I am to admit it, there may be some merit to your worries over a conspiracy within the Order, whether Victor is involved or not. As my predecessor would remind me, denying unpleasant facts is not good science. I would be remiss if I failed to support an investigation. No doubt you heard of the recent attack launched on that Anti's Choice base, Outpost Opportunity. It came from one of our facilities, the Zeranium Manufactory. But that facility is intended for research, not military action. I hate thinking an Order member responsible, but given the precision of the attack, it does suggest traitors in our midst. It would undoubtedly benefit both of us to root them out.
Respectfully, Scholar, given current tensions, should we really be trusting such a delicate task to this stranger? Would an internal review of our ranks not be more appropriate? Choosing levity at a moment like this is only further evidence of your lack of good judgment.
I don't dispute the need for discretion, my friend. But the presiding bishop made the determination to send the agent to us. It's best we trust her calculations. Moreover, our situation is growing increasingly dire. I can't overstate my fears concerning this most recent attack ending the ceasefire and reigniting the war in Golden Ridge. One more thing. Your investigation into the traitors takes precedence, but if you could also render aid at Outpost Opportunity on our behalf, such a gesture might preserve the peace. I knew I could rely upon you. Ruth wouldn't have sent you otherwise. Here, take this writ of investigative inquiry. It'll grant you access to the manufactory. Seer Wiley and I will conduct our own inquest into these traitors you've mentioned erstwhile. We can compare notes once you've returned with your findings.
Beheld that new rifle up at the monastery, the Oracle?
You have an abundance of valid options for your next mission destination.
Welcome.
Center, N-ray range, uranium manufactoring, or outpost opportunity.
Oh, try not to get too close. My sinuses are stuffed up, my ears are backed up, and my guts are gurgling. I could burst at any moment. Every fluid from every orifice. So keep your distance. Law, finally. Real relief from my fake symptoms. Let's see it then. If it's all the same, I'll give it to someone in real need. I've got more practice ahead of me. Wouldn't want to spoil it by seeking treatment. You have my gratitude, stranger. I think it's downright awful what's happened to these fine folks. But me especially. Sickness, malnutrition, spontaneous genetic disorders, it never ends. You too. Trust me, you don't want to catch this. Neither do I, for that matter.
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
Wish. Between the invaders. The order defecting. There's no putting this rat back into the can.
Looking pretty good right now.
Think they'll notice if we jump the queue?
To keep your employment. Want data-driven insight on how to excel at your life? Visit our predictory and take our short questionnaire to determine exactly what career you are meant for. Act now and receive a one-week prognostication from a seer. Absolutely free. You have nothing to...
Stranger, in light of the recent attack on Auntie's Choice, you may want to make haste to Matriarch's Mercy. It's just down the road here. I can't rightly say, and that is rather concerning in its own right. It seems our temporary ceasefire with the corporatists may be at its end. Yes, this was an active war zone until recently, and now seems like it may be so again. Not quite certain why the attack was launched, but that is not under my purview. I'd surmise that when Auntie's Choice realized they couldn't get through our defensive measures, they wisely chose the path of diplomacy. Seems I was mistaken. They must have done something to provoke an attack, which is why your safest path now is the one that leads to Matriarch's Mercy. The Order controls everything south of this point, but the rest is beset with various dangers. Zealots, scavengers, creatures, and corporatists. Well, not certain about that last one anymore after the attack. Yep, mad to the last one. People will turn to anything to ease their discomfort during times of crisis, I suppose. They're both unstable and violent. Auntie's forces call them scrappers, and uses them for just that, gathering scrap materials. Excessive abuse of stimulants has made them severely unbalanced and prone to violence. They've also been known to pose as refugees, to lure their victims into ambushes. There are several camps of them northwest of here. I'd strongly advise keeping your distance. The creatures are of the genus Varachnid. They are large enough to kill a full-grown human, and exceedingly willing to do so.
All your endeavors elicit expected results.
I don't see anything else coming. Was it just the one?
Something amiss? Analyzing. Nothing to do but stare at the noisemaker and wrestle with my feelings of inefficiency. Oh, commotion ceased on its own.
On your command.
The other way around.
Do you have a specific matter requiring discussion with me that cannot be postponed? I'm rather preoccupied at the moment. That's not... Yes, your assessment is absolutely accurate. Making a final decision over what to prioritize in the construction of this trench, given my current resources, has been a substantially more difficult task than I first estimated. Correct. In this case, standardized algorithms, which includes a Poisson distribution method, using the data we accrued from years of tracking the frequency of different attacks. Unfortunately, I find myself in the extremely unlikely and stressing position of having these algorithms inform me that every type of attack is exactly equally probable, and thus my dilemma. Many, unfortunately, Anti's human soldiery, raptidons, mantisaurs, scrappers, and even wild arachnids. In summary, many and varied. Alas, I lack the resources and time. I appreciate your input, though. Anti's forces have pushed us from our initial trench line into our fallback trench, thus making it the new primary trench. Despite the fact that we are currently holding back Anti's forces at the new, more narrow front, this leaves us in the unenviable position of requiring a new fallback trench. That being said, we shouldn't need another trench line. Our analysis shows us that Anti simply lacks the resources to push through the current front line. However, there is a vanishingly slim chance that Antis has more resources in transit outside of the Arcadian system that we simply haven't accounted for yet.
Assessing. Contraption inaccessible.
Engaging hostile life forms. Enthusiastically neutralizing unfriendlies.
Give the order, and I'll take care of him, Commander.
Commencing combat-related activities.
This is Chief Quidley, recording with the intent of registering this most unusual sequence of events and securing their serial wave rights. Recently, we reckoned it'd be a hoot to hack a captured order terminal, use it to heckle them. Instead, we wound up chinwagging. And turns out we have much in common. They're bored, we're bored, and everyone got sick of trench living months ago. Next thing you know, we're getting together for brews and a wave of their knockoff sport, pitchball. And where there's booze and ball, there's betting. And while those order folk are scary data smart, they can't see the angles if they're big as a ship and bright as a hollow ad. They just see stats and percents. And don't get how spunk, moxie, and being due play into it. I thought hustling games with six caps was the easiest way to make bits. Not no more.
Entering a confrontational state.
Just come through an active war zone? Your puzzlers screwed on cricket.
Fire!
Guess they're survivors after all. Now.
Did that blast give me a dunder? Or is some damn stranger walking into my area of operation right after we've been attacked? You got any reason I oughtn't have you shot? Yeah? And what exactly makes you so sure of that? Huh. Interesting. Did he say who he thinks did hit us? Not that it matters, I suppose. Not like we can muster a counterattack or anything. But even if I did believe you, so what? Seriously? You expecting me to ring up Auntie and tell her, hello, Maven of all marketing? Just letting you know that this scrutinization officer says everything's hunky-dory. You've clearly been out in the Dorado sun for too long. an offer for transaction. Now you're talking my language. Didn't reckon you was someone sympathetic to our ways. It just so happens we might be able to trade services. Normally I wouldn't admit this kind of weakness. It's bad practice. But I'm really in the squeeze, and you might be useful. Lately, my luck's been right miserable. I got enemy sneak attacks. I got grunts murdering each other. I got unsanctioned power struggles. And it all risks reflecting badly on me. You cut down the number of issues that are vexing me, and I'll send you a word of peace and harmony up the chain. What's good for me is good for you, see? Quid pro quo. Or, if all that sounds like too much work for you, there are other ways to curry my favor. Make me believe your good intentions. Encourage me to take your side. That bomb that hit us, it was filled with uranium. So not only did it kill us the good old-fashioned way, it also caused serious poisoning.
My contract medicalist over there is literally up to her elbows in it. Her hourly rate is ridiculous, and our damn autodocs have gone on the fritz from the workload. You get her the compression coil she needs to make the autodocs work, and that should cut her billable hours in half, and then I'll send your message.
There's been a murder at one of our forts. A trooper's accused of poisoning her senior officer for some preposterous reason. Problem is, I'm already short on medical specialists. The last thing I can do is waste one for days just to find out if she did or didn't toxify him. Go find out who done it, and I'll send the message you're asking for. This is gonna make no more sense for me saying it than it's gonna make for you hearing it, but apparently, the senior officer at one of my forts is a mantisaur. A real, actual, pincer-faced, carapace-having mantisaur. Not a half-human one, or a psychic one, or a talking one, just a regular old, head-munching mantisaur. Anyways, there's some dispute over who his second should be, and he can't exactly decide himself. So go sort it out for me, and I will gladly send your message. Now, you know that's an irrevocable deal, right? As in, please remember it's legally binding, and I will sue you if you fail to get it done. So don't let either of us down.
People are dying, and all he cares about is what he can get out of it. Wish I could say I was surprised.
Been noticing a lot of screws going missing of late on board the ship. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
No missing fastener reports have been filed with this unit.
Let me rephrase. Have you been collecting screws for some reason?
Affirmative. Multiple replacement screws have been collected in accordance with pending work order from Agent Amara. I must have a screw loose.
It's a figure of speech, Val.
Please observe that this outpost remains relatively undamaged despite recent hostilities. Further investigation is warranted.
Stranger, please, you gotta help me. They're gonna railroad me into a guilty verdict. Then I'll be declogging sewer sediment tanks until I'm dead enough to mulch. Durbin! Oh, that's great! He's bound to see the truth of this and let me go. Abner's trying to pin this on me, and it ain't right. Hell no, I didn't do it. I actually like Chief Cuddy. He was pretty alright for a guy who's angling for executive. He'd get you extra shifts if you asked, and only ding your pay if you really screwed up. And sometimes, if you really had to go, he'd even cover your bog breaks, pro bono. I'd never have hurt the chief, even if you offered to pay me to do it. I don't think nobody killed Cuddy. I was there. That's why they think I did it, and he was fine. Well, he was fine up until he wasn't, and then he just swole up and died. But the way he swole up, it's something Cuddy always said might happen. Only it don't make no sense that it happened now. We were eating chow at our post. Cuddy asked me to try his because it tasted funny, but I tried it and it was fine, just like mine. Then he just swole up, turned blue, and died. I made a ruckus, which called everyone in, and all they saw was him dead and me fine. So Security Officer Abner charged me with murder and threw me in here. It was exactly what Cuddy said would happen if he ate Crabble. He was deathly allergic to Crabble. But we ate Sisty stew, fresh from the can. And ain't no Crabble in Sisty stew. I don't have to. Cuddy told him himself. He told absolutely everybody, repeatedly, over and over, constantly. Nobody would have served him Crabble knowing that, but that's still gotta be how he died. So I need you to talk to Security Officer Abner, remind him of the allergy, and let him toss all my gear. He won't find Crabble anywhere. No, that was days ago, and they tossed out the rest of the stew. So I don't even know if the docs will still be able to tell it was allergies that did in Cuddy. He will. He has to. It's the truth. I didn't murder nobody. Please, make him understand.
Attention. Nearby Mantisaur is deviating from typical flesh-rending behavior.
Honestly, Bradford, I've no notion of how to cool your conniption. Corporate says I'm in charge, so I'm in charge.
You're in charge? Wait, you're in charge?
Don't you mean the executive is in charge?
Of course that's what I meant. Whether I say me, he, or we, it's all the same.
Hey, damage-prone daredevil. You're getting battered and bruised, brutally battling Auntie's enemies. So we're honoring your sacrifice by winning the war on high prices.
Triggerfinger's still tired.
Welcome to Bonnie's Barely Above Board Battlefield Bazaar, brought to you by Auntie's Choice. We know consumers are highly discerning in how they spend their bits in an active war zone, and I really appreciate you dodging literal bullets to bring me your business. And to show my gratitude, I'm offering you and only you a one-of-a-kind, once-in-a-lifetime, exclusively discounted rate of 4/5 of Auntie's standard profiteering rate. Aw, it's the old publicly storm away in a moral huff before slinking back on scene shtick. Fair enough, I suppose. We're all a slave to appearances.
Well, hello there, consumer. If you haven't yet, you should be sure to avail yourself of our retail opportunities downstairs. You here for the view? Checking that the cables I patched are staying together. When that big old gun downstairs was working, it rattled the wiring in the walls, so sometimes the lines short out. They bled us with constant shelling for the better part of 3 months, and it barely earned us a few dozen kilometers. Truth be told, I never thought we'd make it. Those sovereign sanctions can reach all the way across Golden Ridge. They rain shells the size of crabbles on us day and night. They made the invasion stall about 5 kilometers away and would have ground us to dust if the cannons hadn't stopped and the Protectorate retreated. Like someone up here flipped a switch. 1 second our lives were pain and fear and death, and the next all was quiet. No more shelling, no more shooting. At first we thought it was a trap, that they'd start shelling again as soon as we popped our heads up, but there was nothing. We basically walked the rest of the way here. We didn't find out why until we got here and learned the Protectorate wasn't. The Protectorate hightailed it. They decided that if the Order was going to splinter off on its own, then it could field its own army and fight its own battles. Those Protectorate bootlicks took everything not nailed down, leaving the Order to try and figure out how to wage war with no gear and almost no know-how. It took them weeks to rally, and by then we owned most of Golden Ridge. If Andy'd only send a few thousand more troops, we'd shove them completely off this rock. A whole colony full of people, and you've chosen to bore me with your inane opinions. You should feel free to take them anywhere that isn't here.
You, the get-and-go-getter. I'm offering deals so good, they're worth crawling under the bullets and over the barbed wire it took to get here.
Well, what have we here? You couldn't look less Auntie's choice if you tried. So what are you doing in our fort? Durbin sent you? Why? You certainly ain't a certified pre-inhumation inquisitor. Oh, lovely. And just what is it you think you can do for me? You ain't even carrying a masticating tissue scrutinator. You just gonna guess what manner of poison killed folk? What? How could that be? I made the stew myself and every one of us ate it. What? That's ridiculous. It was nothing but canned cysty stew. Stew that I Oh. Oh no. Oh, did you say Crabble? Well, he told everyone that. But that ain't exactly the same as it actually being true. See, Cuddy was what you'd call a complainer. He complained about the food. He complained about the weather. He complained about his bunk. He complained about everything. He's also somebody's nephew. Some junior executive. And if you gave him reason enough to complain about you, he'd take it up with his uncle, and it'd come back down in your head. Half his gripes were really nothing but reasons to grouse. But if you push back too hard, he'd run to his uncle. So most of us just ignored him, assuming he was constantly full of it. And didn't think twice about doing things like stretching the stew with canned crabble stock. What? No, it was an accident. Nobody would have... At least nobody'd mean to. Law, his uncle is gonna see me transferred to mid-operation engine cleaning on the claim. Unless... Hey, how'd you like to make some bits? Some real bits? And keep a tragic accident that'll lead to the end of a promising career. Total secret. So we got this thing. An acidic dematerializer that we use to melt mantisaur dung, so it don't call in the local wildlife. But it'll actually work on anything. That means if someone used it to melt Cuddy, there would be no body, which would mean no autopsy, which would mean no evidence, which would end the investigation. I'd do it myself, but my boss said she's on her way for a surprise inspection, so I can't leave. But if you go find one and melt the body, I'll make it worth your while. Well, then she's cleared, of course. No more questions asked. She goes free, you get bits, I get on with my life. Deal? Thank law. You'll find Cuddy inside the tower, but you'll have to sneak your way past the guards. It simply wouldn't do for me to announce your intentions to the base. Then come back and tell me when I've got no more evidence to hold Bardot and can draw this whole thing to a close.
You, the getting go-getter. I'm offering deals so good, they're worth crawling under the bullets and over the barbed wire.
You are tuned to wireless free Arcadia, the best thing since sliced breadworm. Now, 100% more.
To come this way. One step more and you die.
look. Hope the sprats ain't returned. Heard something. I wonder if I could take this. Be too hard to sell. Do I pull the red wire, or...
I've been told Chief Cuddy's corpse has gone missing. Which is a surprise to both of us, I'm sure. Thank you for your help. You've saved 2 careers today, and allowed us to put this whole miserable affair behind us. Of course. Debts left unpaid decays our character and all of anti-society. And this torrid affair has come close enough to doing both already. Regardless, it's nothing but ink in the ledger now. And speaking of ledgers, Bardot is free. And here's the balance for yours. Which means we're done.